Okay, so I guess Frieren Friday is officially a thing, because I just watched the new episode. This was episode 8, Frieren the Slayer. And I can't say the title or think about the title without giggling a little bit. Now, that's not because of like, oh, like that sounds so stupid, like you're trying to make her edgy, like she's the Slayer or anything like that. It's like, no, it's because when I hear someone the Slayer, I just think of Buffy, and that makes me giggle a little bit. Specifically, the way the Master would always pronounce it in season 1, just the Slayer. And so I can't help but think it's Frieren the Slayer. And yeah, it makes me giggle a little bit, but I think the title's actually kind of badass, and in the context, by the end of the episode, it's really badass. But before you get to the end of the episode, you gotta start at the beginning of the episode, where that one demon showed up in her cell, is talking shit, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, my boss thinks you're a problem, so I'm gonna take you out. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, just so you know, I'm really strong. You think you're stronger than me? I'm stronger than your boss. And their fight is over before the opening credits roll. So his spell that he specializes in is he makes this like purple wire that can cut through shit. Which I love, by the way. It's one of those things where both of the main spells we see in this episode, like making like the strings that can cut shit, and then the other dude has like a blood whip. I love those kinds of things. I think they're so fun. But so it's like he gets the thread around her neck, but she has mana like circling her neck to essentially work as like a shield. And he's like, like that's not going to hold you forever. Like, puny human magic can't like defeat my wire. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I don't think I can really do anything about this wire. I'm kind of fucked when it comes to the wire itself. And he's like, I've won. And then she just cuts his arm off, and then she cuts his other arm off, and he's like, oh, we can talk about this, and then just cuts off his head. Like, no remorse, doesn't say anything, just cold-blooded shit, Slayer shit. And I loved it. It was awesome. It also just kind of made me think of JoJo fights, where it's like, there'll be that part during a fight where the villain starts explaining their stand. You're like, yes, my stand is the strongest. It has no weaknesses. I've won. And then, whether it's the JoJo or a Joe Bro, whoever it is, like, does some shit or says some shit, and then, they get fucking humbled and get their asses beat. It's like that was a very, like, heavily condensed version of a JoJo fight, and I appreciated that a lot. I had a good time with it. And then, after that, she goes outside, sees the dead guard, and is like, well, the demon's body just disintegrated, so I look really fucking suspicious, being the only person here with a dead guard, so time for me to leave. So, like, she goes to leave, then you cut to Stark and Fern, who kind of talking about it like, okay, like there's demons in the town. Frieren just explained to us in the last episode why that's really bad, and that even if the demons are putting up a nice front, that's all it is. It's just a feint. You cannot trust them. So Fern's like, all right, like, we got to go talk to the, what do they call him? Like the Graf, I think, but like the head of the town. Like, we got to go talk to him, see if we can get Frieren saved, get her out of the dungeon, explain to him that these demons are a fucking problem. You good with that? And Stark can't stop shaking. He's like, dude, I'm scared, dude. Those demons didn't even acknowledge us. They only had eyes for Frieren. It was like we are so insignificant, and they just think we can kill them at any time, that we weren't even a look. That terrifies me. But if we gotta do shit, we gotta do shit. So they're going to, like, go to the Graf to petition for Frieren, and they come across her, like, wearing a cloak, and she's like, Frieren, is that you? Just keeps walking, and they follow her in an alley. She's like, okay, this is what happened. I was attacked. He killed the guard. If I stay down there, I'm really sus. I'm gonna head out. But Frieren, you can't just leave. We gotta help these people. Like, there's demons inside. Like, sorry, my brain stopped for a second. Essentially, Frieren's reaction is like, look, I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna go. If you guys want to stay and help, be my guest. In fact, think of this as like a learning experience. Like, I believe that the two of you are strong enough to take care of that. Take care of those other two demons. If you want to do that, go for it. And Stark like gets on his knees begging her to help, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna help. See ya. And then she walks away, and Fern's like dragging Stark away, and Frieren's just kind of smiling to herself, and I liked that a lot. Like, it does really come across as not just like, yeah, I'm gonna abandon these people because fuck them or I don't care. It's like, no. You, like, this is I'm not gonna be with you guys forever. She outlived them. Like, I would be surprised if she didn't. I mean, I guess she could still be killed before one of them. It's like, she'll probably outlive them, but she's not going to be around them forever. You need to be able to take care of yourself even when I'm not here, and I believe you can. Have at you. Also, because Frieren is not just leaving, she's like, I'm gonna go take care of the big boss, because I can sense her, and she's a problem. And man, I really hate, I understand Stark saying I don't want to fight strong people. I don't like fighting strong people either. I just want to get it done as quickly as possible. But while she's saying that, she has this grin on her face, like, man, I really hate fighting strong people. Like, she looks really hyped to go kill some demons, which I think is pretty funny. Like, for a character who's very stoic, doesn't emote a whole lot, but has definitely been doing that a lot more as the show goes on. Like, we definitely see a lot of smiles. This is the most excited she might have been the entire show. Like, oh boy, here I go, killing demons again. In between some of this, the Graph confronts the two demons, like, look, your dude's dead. Or it's like, your dude is missing. There's a guard dead. The elf didn't fight anybody when we arrested her. She didn't resist. It seems weird that she would just murder a guard. I'm sus of you now. So the dude's like, all right, well, time to drop all pretense for real this time. Like, rips into his fucking hand and uses the blood whip, and it's fucking cool. Captures the Graph, and it's like, all right, I'm going to use you to let down the shields so our demons can come in. I'll leave you here to think for a while. And if you say no when we come back, we'll torture the shit out of you. Sound good? Great. So they leave. Stark busts in and is trying to, like, save the dude, but is shaking the entire time. He's like, I literally can't cut through the rope. My hands are shaking so much. Demons come back in. Stark is terrified, but he starts fighting back. And then the demon's like, oh, this guy's, like, really fast. He has really good reflexes. Like, he's not, I don't know if he's a problem, but okay, I can't just kind of sleepwalk my way through this. So he ends up pinning Stark down. Fern then appears because Stark's like, yeah, like, I didn't come to fight you alone. I'm not stupid. I'm giving an opening for my friend, who, despite the fact that they should be able to sense her, they just can't. And then you've got Fern just floating and slowly descending through the window and then fucking blasts them. Or she only hits the dude. And he's like, oh, this is bad. That spell, like, as demons, we have overcome that killing spell. We've evolved to a point where, like, that shouldn't do too much to us. And that really fucked me up bad. That spell wasn't just offensive magic. That is specifically designed to kill demons. I remember someone who used that spell. I remember being hit by that shit. And then he has this flashback where he's just surrounded by dead demons, and Frieren is just floating above him, like, looking down. There's fucking blood on her face, and then he's like, I remember that. That was Frieren the Slayer. And, like, that's when you get the title drop. And I was like, that was a really fucking cool shot. And then at the end of the episode, she's floating above Aura and her fucking army of demons, and she's ready to go ham. She's ready to start slaying again. Is there anything else I really had to say? I think that's about it. The only thing is that Stark and Fern didn't really finish the fight. They just kind of took the dude and left. They're like, we're going to escape with this guy. Fuck the demons. The one dude is healing up. And then his companion's like, hey, I can 1v1 the mage, you know. No, you can't. Like, if you got hit by that shit that I got hit with, you would be fucking dead. And then he talks about, like, Frieren the Slayer and shit. So, yeah, again, it's a good episode. I really, really like this show. I feel like I say that every week, because that's what I think every week when I watch it. It's really good. I think it's good. I just think it's neat. Like I said last week, I don't know how long this arc is going to be. It feels like it's probably reaching a climax either next episode or the one after, which would be, this was episode 8, so episode 9 or 10. I don't know if this is a 1-core. I don't know if this is a 2-core. I hope it's a 2-core, so that means I can just keep watching it. But, good shit. Really looking forward to next week.